Now, crime, of course, is one of the top concerns for voters across the country and here in our area. And you might be wondering, who are the men and women who keep cycling through the criminal system, the repeat offenders? Well, Wesley Lowry and his colleagues at the Marshall Project have been working to see what really happens inside courtrooms in Cuyahoga County.
Taxpayers are the ones who sign off on the resources that go into our courts and go into the judges. And so, if a large portion of the cases are drug cases, for example, well, maybe the taxpayers want to invest more money in drug treatment or mental health cases.
In other words, the Marshall Project argues that you, the voter, have some power here in how you vote and who you vote for. So in this study, they looked at 70,000 cases. They found 70% of people who appeared in Cleveland courtrooms in the last 5 years had at least one prior court case. 30% have 5 or more court cases. And in those cases, defendants were most often convicted of drug possessions, having weapons while under disability, or trafficking offense. So they're not first-time offenders here. We're talking about people who've been in this system. One defendant they interviewed had been cycling through the system for decades. There was a string of robberies, then he got in a car crash where people were hurt. Wesley says it was while that man was incarcerated that he developed his addiction.
I remember talking to him and being interviewed, and he said he had never done drugs in part because his parents themselves had struggled with addiction. And so he was always staying away from it. But now here he is incarcerated in this place that feels horrible, and he's seeing how other people who are incarcerated with him are using these drugs to kind of escape, to zone out, to not be there. And so again, incarcerated emerges with a drug addiction, which is now only going to more likely make this person more likely to commit initial crime.
Again, he saw this specifically here in Cuyahoga County. Now, Wesley talked to a lot of prosecutors, defense attorneys, and judges right here in Cuyahoga County to try to change the repeat offender's path. And he says he's hopeful.
The biggest mental health provider in Cuyahoga County is the county prison or the county jail, right? That the reality is, if the concern is addressing rising crime or people who are cycling through, there has to be a bigger societal investment in mental health treatment, in rehabilitation programming, in drug treatment. And without that, these people are going to keep ending up cycling through our criminal legal system.
By the way, the Marshall Project is a nonprofit organization of journalists studying and reporting on the criminal justice system.